When my mother said, "Sorry, dear, this event is only for the closest people," she said it gently. That was the part that hurt. If she had been sharp about it, I could have reacted. If she had sounded embarrassed, I could have comforted her. But she sounded reasonable. Practical. As if she were explaining seating limitations at a conference. I held the phone against my ear and looked around my apartment, the one I had helped my parents renovate when my brother's business temporarily struggled. The one I paid for on my own. "I understand," I said, and I did. Not about the wedding. About my place. My brother had always been the center of gravity. The one with big plans, bigger risks, and dramatic recoveries funded quietly by family pooling around him. I was the steady one. The reliable transfer, the emergency contact. Close, but not centerpiece close. Instead of asking questions, I booked a flight, a small coastal town, off-season, gray skies. I told myself it was coincidence that the trip overlapped with the wedding weekend. It wasn't. The first morning there, I woke before sunrise and walked along the water. I expected to feel anger. Instead, I felt something simpler: space. Without the constant orbit of family needs, I could hear my own thoughts. And what I heard wasn't rage. It was exhaustion. By the second day, photos from the pre-wedding dinner started circulating in the family group chat. Crystal glasses. Soft lights. My brother in a tailored suit, my mother glowing. No one mentioned my absence. On the third day, my phone rang repeatedly. I let it go to voicemail the first time. Then the messages began stacking up. "Call me, it's urgent, please pick up." I sat on the edge of the hotel bed before finally answering. My father's voice was tight. "There's been a complication." The venue had halted the ceremony. Outstanding vendor balances. The event planner had apparently been juggling payments between clients. My brother had assumed everything was covered. It wasn't. By the time the wedding party arrived for rehearsal, the venue manager, flanked by a legal representative, had formally suspended the event until the remaining balance was cleared. Publicly. In front of guests. Authority doesn't raise its voice, it simply states terms. The ceremony cannot proceed without settlement of the outstanding debt. That was what my father repeated to me, word for word. "How much?" I asked. The number was large, but not impossible. Not for me. There was a long pause on the line. The kind where everyone waits for the dependable person to step into their familiar role. "You've always been good with money," my father said carefully. Translation: you fix things. I imagined the venue lobby. My brother pacing. My mother trying to calm guests. My name finally surfacing in conversation, not as absent but as solution. For years, I had equated helping with love. If I could stabilize the crisis, maybe I would earn proximity. But proximity earned that way evaporates the moment the crisis does. "I'm sorry," I said. Silence. "I'm not able to help with that, you're on vacation," my father replied, as if that were proof of liquidity. "Yes," I said, "I am." He exhaled sharply. "This is your brother's wedding." I stared at the ocean outside the window. The tide was low, exposing rocks that usually stayed hidden. "I wasn't invited," I said quietly. Another silence. Longer this time. "That's not the point." For them it wasn't. For me, it was the only point. The call ended without resolution. My mother texted afterward, not an apology, but a reminder of how families show up for each other. I turned my phone face down. The wedding was officially canceled that afternoon. Deposits forfeited. Guests dispersed. My brother's fiancée's family reportedly furious. Photos deleted from social media within hours. No one called to tell me how it felt. They called once more the next day, but not to ask how I was. Only to suggest we talk properly. When I returned, I stayed 3 extra days. I walked, I read, I slept without anticipating emergency requests. When I flew home, the family group chat was quiet. My brother sent a brief message a week later about rebuilding. It contained no accusation, but no acknowledgement either. Something subtle had shifted. I was no longer the unspoken contingency plan. That didn't make me triumphant. It made me aware. At Sunday dinner the following month, The atmosphere was polite. Careful. My chair at the table felt slightly different, not warmer, not colder. Just no longer assumed. No one mentioned the wedding. No one thanked me for past rescues either. I realized then that self-respect isn't loud. It doesn't announce itself with ultimatums. It simply stops volunteering for roles that diminish you. The wedding can be rescheduled. Debts can be renegotiated. Reputations repaired. But something else had quietly reorganized. If they wanted me present in their lives, it would have to be as a person, not as a solution.